So we were supposed to get a big snowstorm today, and in Virginia, a big snowstorm is a few inches. If you're in the Midwest or in Canada, don't laugh. I know you all get a foot or more of snow like it's nothing, but here a few inches will shut the town down. So we're just hanging around the house today, doing not much of anything. My husband's gonna turn some wood and make some vases and bowls, and I think I'm gonna play with makeup and make some fragrance decants for my friends. So Darren has a woodworking shop in our basement level, and he loves to make things like this, these beautiful bowls out of old pieces of wood, which I think are just gorgeous. Here are some other examples, and I use them for all sorts of things. Notes, decants, who knows what else. But aren't these pretty? I adore all of these pieces. They're really meaningful to me because he makes them by hand, and I love all these oddities in them. I think wood is just beautiful. Natural wood is beautiful. All of the striations, variations, and tones and colors, the movement, the swirling. It's a lot like picking out a piece of marble for your kitchen. You look at what the patterns are, and it always ends up something so, beautiful when he makes these pieces. I really adore them. We have these pieces all over the house, and yesterday he made this for me. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because it's a big one, but boy, is this beautiful. And he did that Japanese technique, I think it's called kintsugi, where you fill up a hole with, usually it's gold, but here he did some kind of turquoise epoxy substance. So that's the latest piece. He has also made me numerous bowls for my makeup brushes. Oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous. The movement in here. He made that piece for me. There's this one back here. So many. Pardon my toothbrush. Here's a particularly beautiful one that he made. I just adore the ombre effect on this one. And I love that it's big and holds all of these powder brushes. And there's another one back there, and I've got a whole bunch more in the linen closet. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. How long did it take you to make this?
A long time. 2 hours.
I love it. It's beautiful. What kind of wood is it?
Maple.
Maple. And what do you call the thing? I know it's kintsugi, but what is it? Is it epoxy?
No, that's epoxy. It's not kintsugi.
Well, let me call it that because I want to call it that. Did it on both sides. Really, really beautiful. So it's already 2:30, almost in the afternoon. It's Sunday before the Martin Luther King holiday. And yeah, it's a little snowy and sleety outside, and I'm just indoors being a lazy slug. I haven't done any makeup or really anything. We went to Lowe's today and got some shelving for the garage, and we cooked a really big gourmet, wonderful breakfast. And now I think I want to play with makeup. You want to play with makeup? Got a candle lit in the bathroom. But I just want to say one thing I really, really love about days that are snowy is the sound. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's the sound. Well, actually, it's not the sound of snow because snow doesn't have a sound. It's the sound of the sleety rain. There is something so comforting about the sound. I'd love to just lay out on a hammock or something if I could stay warm outdoors. But I don't really have a way to do that, so I'm just going to enjoy from the inside. In my recent eyeshadow collection video, I talked about this Scott Barnes palette, and I think I called it the Atelier palette or something like that. However, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I can go on the site to check it out, but it's labeled the Glamazon Snatural No. 2 palette. And I kind of like that name better, so let's go with that for today. Look how gorgeous this palette is. I want to play with everything in here, but since it's snowing outside, I think I'm going to do something in maybe this range or over here, like something grayish or greenish, but definitely with a lot of sparkle. And I'm going to see if I can be adventurous and combine it some with the other Scott Barnes palette that I recently got. And it looks like this. It's got these 6 glittery, shimmerish shades here. One black matte, and then this midnight blue shimmery shade here as well, or dark. I I don't know if that's black or blue. We'll see. But anyway, let's see what we can do here. We haven't done much this weekend, and I'm okay with that. In fact, I forgot what we did Friday afternoon. I have no idea. Did we go out? Oh, we did our usual Costco date. We have date night on Fridays and we go to Costco because we are cheesy like that. And because we knew that a snowstorm was coming, in fact, you can see from the skylight here, we have a few in this room. There's one there and then another one over here. There's snow and ice and sleet and all sorts of gross stuff on there. It makes the bathroom dark when it snows like that because we don't get any natural light in here. It's kind of cool and kind of weird at the same time. But anyway, we went to Costco just like everyone else does in the South in the US before a snowstorm. Everybody goes crazy and everybody acts like they have to stock up food for Armageddon. So we did too. We know better, like we know we're gonna be fine, but it's just fun to go. And we got wine and we got stuff to make stews and we got some lasagna and just a bunch of fun kinds of food for a weekend snowed in. So yesterday we went looking for some shelving. My husband wants to put some shelves up in the garage where he can store some of the wood that he works with, some of the blocks of wood that he gets from people that have cut down trees and they don't want the wood. They want someone to come haul it. So he'll take his chainsaw, go out there, cut up the wood for them and haul the pieces that he wants to make wood out of. And then he pays them back by making a bowl or something for them. It's really cool. But anyway, we've got all this wood in our garage that needs a home. So we went looking for shelving. We didn't find it. We found it this morning. And then, you know, here we are. It's late in the day, as you can see from the clock there. At this point now, it's almost 3 o'clock. I've done some of my face already, so we can just focus on the eyeshadow part of things. So just to let you know what I have on, of course I moisturize. I have the Anastasia eye primer on my eyes, which is a white-based primer that gives you a bright background for a colorful eye look. I have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer as a primer on top of my skin. And then for concealer, I used the Makeup Forever Ultra HD, which is a really nice concealer. I have mine in the color 30. And then I used the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup Broad Spectrum SPF 45 Foundation. What a mouthful some of these names are. So it comes in this plastic tube that I don't know how I feel about the tube, but that's okay. It's one of the more dewy moisturizers that I have. It really does make your face look like it is hydrated and a little glistening. So sometimes I want to look like that and sometimes I want to mattify it just a little bit. So I did put as a powder the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is in the color Translucent Extra Coverage. I've had this for a long time. This is an Old Faithful. Listen, if you're trying to save some money on makeup and you just want a nice face powder, this $6 one rivals all of the highest, most expensive powders out there on the market. So then I did some bronzing. I didn't go too crazy like I usually do with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. This is in the color 2. I think I should have gotten a 3. Because I kind of like a dark, deep bronzer, but that's okay. So what I did was just sort of warm up the perimeter of my face, put a little bit down the nose, also, of course, in the crease, like always, a little tiny bit here, and a little bit under the cheeks. A little bit under the jawline. Because I'm just hanging out at home, as you see from the hairdo here, we have a very messy bun that's all over the place, and got a little headband on. When I do that, I try to keep the bronzer reasonable because the lines of demarcation become a lot more apparent, obviously, when your hair is up than when you have hair all around your neck and whatever, and you can hide some of the areas where the changes happen. So that's what we're working with today. Let's go on and get into the eyeshadow. We may create a bit of a disaster with this eyeshadow look today, but I'm not going anywhere, so I really want to experiment some and maybe play with this dark, deep blue, which is called Editorial. And then these colors here, I'm very attracted to this silvery, sparkly color here. So that one is called Talk to My Agent. Talk to My Agent, I love that. And then Comp Card is one, like this grayish, bluish color that I want to play with. And also Runway. Runway? Runway. So let's see what we can get into, and then I'll also play with that other palette and see if we can do some toppers and so forth. Wish me luck. Let's say a little prayer to the makeup gods that I don't create a completely disgusting look. Let's go for it. I'm also gonna try something a little bit different. I usually put the color in the crease first and then work on the eyelids. I think I wanna try it the other way and do the eyelid first and just kind of break routine and do something different. So in fact, I probably need a glitter glue since some of these are very crumbly, metallic-y, shimmery kinds of shadows. I've got a little bit of my Ulta glitter primer here for eyes and face. I don't know on what occasion I would be putting glitter on my face. But you know, people do some really creative artistic looks. So this is just like a glue, and don't be intimidated by the word glue. It's really just like kind of like a sticky primer that allows the glitter, whatever it is that you're using, shimmer, to adhere. So let's be bold and go straight into that Talk to My Agent really bright color there. I love how buttery and shimmery new eyeshadows are, like when you first play with the package. One thing, ooh, hello. One thing I like to do is when I'm working with shadows like this, first of all, use your fingers because the warmth will help it adhere to your eyes, and brushes can just get really messy with metallic shadows. So I like to press it on. Press, let it adhere, and then do a little bit of a dragging motion. That is a lot, and I like it. Hopefully my family won't think I'm too crazy when I come downstairs to start cooking the stew. I'm making a sweet potato, no, that's a lie. I'm making a regular old potato and sausage stew to kind of match the mood for the day. It's gray, it's cold, it's snowy and sleety. Like, what a great day to have a nice stew and some bread to dip in your stew. So are we liking this? I'm glad I did this first versus the crease shade and the outer corner darkening so that you can get a real sense of what it'll look like. I then am going to do two things. I want to take this color, Talk to My Agent, up through here like a swoosh, maybe go for like a little bit of an Ice Queen look, and then I want to do Runway as the outer lid shade. Let's try it. So since I'm doing the little swoopy motion, I'm going to use my pinkies because they're smaller and can get into that space better. Hopefully I won't have a lot of fallout and regret it. But I like bringing a bright color up into that space. I find if you're not going for like a deep, sultry look, if you want something bright and fun and eye-opening, that bringing the bright color up through there is actually a good thing. And like I've always said in other videos, one of the hardest things for me is knowing sort of when to stop, because I can really overdo it with shadows and just like over apply and apply and apply, and then kind of mess up what would be a subtly decent look. So I'm going into that darker bluish, grayish, sparkly color. Let's do that on the outside. Oh, that's going in pretty dark. Ooh. I already have regrets. But we're gonna work with it and we're gonna try to fix it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit while I do this. One of the things I have done this weekend, let me back up and ask, do you feel guilty when you have chunks of time on the weekend and you spend it not really doing something productive? That's the way my brain works. I always feel like, gosh, I should be doing something that I can't normally get done during the week because I, work long hours and have family obligations. And sometimes I get around to that stuff on the weekends, and sometimes I do, like I did today after we came back from Home Depot, which is just, I watched Steve Harvey. Do you like Family Feud? It's probably my favorite game show on TV. When I was little, I used to watch game shows all the time. I just loved game shows so much. Family Feud was one. I've been watching Family Feud since the original host was on there. And I really enjoy Steve Harvey as a host. The show just always manages to pick me up, make me happy. I enjoy the silly responses and I enjoy Steve Harvey's reactions. So today I watched a number of them, and right before I started the video, I watched like the greatest answers from the celebrities shows. Here's a thumbnail somewhere and I'll link it below. If you want some good laughs, listen, open that stuff up. It's lighthearted and it's fun. Okay. I think next I'm going to take this comp card, which is this grayish bluish or bluish gray color, and I'm going to take a large fluffy brush, maybe not that large, a medium fluffy brush for the crease. This is the Blender Pro from Sonia G, and I'm going to take a little bit and let's see if we can create some cohesiveness between these two colors by creating a crease shade out of this. So anyway, I would advise watching that. In fact, sometimes when I get tired of watching YouTube content that I usually watch, which is makeup and which is fragrance, because I mean, listen guys, as much as I enjoy making content, as much as I enjoy watching my fellow creators, sometimes you just like need a break from the norm. And I've talked to other creators and they do too. Like we just are like, okay, let's just watch something completely different. But I will look up funny stuff on YouTube and just sit there and laugh for hours. And it's just a nice little escape from like the norm and from anything that may be bugging you. So on Friday, I went to the service of a dear friend who passed away just way too early of cancer. And it was just, you know, anytime I attend something like that, it's a real sobering experience and just a reminder to live life to the fullest while you can, because tomorrow's not promised. And I've been, of course, thinking about that all weekend, sitting with the heaviness of that and feeling just like a heavy heart for the family that she leaves behind, who are just struggling to kind of make sense of all of that. Yeah, I kind of wanted something just lighthearted for the weekend and that will kind of take my mind off of that. So I'm going to go back to that editorial and just do a little bit of deepening in the outer corners. I said I'm going to go back, but I never went in. So we're going in with that deep dark blue. Okay. That's really giving some depth there. Back to the snowstorm thing. Where are you in the country and how do people prep for snowstorms? I remember when I lived in New York, no one batted an eye or cared. I do remember being in one blizzard as a child that had, I kid you not, almost, well, it felt like that at the time, about 3 feet of snow. It was probably more like 1.5 feet or 2 feet. And I remember that was pretty serious and shut things down. But other than that, there wasn't much shutting down that happened in New York City during snowstorms. People just kept going. Like they just put on their warm coats and slogged out with their boots and parkas and hats and scarves and things. But here in the South, listen, it's a big deal. The Department of Transportation in Virginia, VDOT, puts so much salt on the highways. The counties and the cities put down salt on the local roads and whatnot. It's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. I'm eyeballing this color here, which is called Superstar, and I'm also eyeballing Plain White Tea. Let's swatch those because I want to do something really light in here. So here is Superstar. Hello, Shine. And Plain White Tea. I like them both. I think, well, this one is more like a silvery color that would complement this better. I mean, that would look good too. But let's go into the Plain White Tea and let's do something along the brow bone. And let's do something on the inner corner. I sound like I know what I'm talking about using all these terms. Yeah, that's giving exactly what I want. This is looking gaudy and I like it. I like to do looks like this when I'm home. For a while, I had what I called Sassy Saturdays, where on Saturdays, because I was home, I would do this like really bright look that I would normally not wear during the week just to experiment. It wasn't until my early 40s that I really started to play with bright shadows. For the most part, I wore a lot of beiges and browns and very light grays and so forth, but I didn't get too crazy. This is crazy right here. I feel like I need to maybe lighten up the center of the lid, so I'm gonna put that same color on the center of the lids, that plain white tea. It looks like that. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. See, now I'm starting to pile on way too much. So I'm gonna slow down, pump the brakes. I really wanna blend out these colors here because they're too divided to me and it looks a little messy. So I'm gonna take a clean, big, fluffy blending brush, or crease brush rather, and just try to work the edges into each other, like so. Do you guys like Bob Ross? Are you old enough to remember who Bob Ross is? We used to watch his show and watch him paint the trees. And we're just gonna add a little branch over here. We're just gonna fluff out some edges. Such a calming voice. I think I like the way that's looking. I do want to brighten up the inner corner and I want to put some dimension down here. So let's start with the inner corner and go back into that plain white tea color. The other thing I wanted to talk about is tomorrow's my birthday. Every time I say that, did anybody watch, I think the show was called Moonlighting with Bruce Willis and Judith Light, I think was her name. And I don't know if it was in the beginning or in one of the episodes, but Bruce Willis would sing, "Today is my birthday, da-na-na-na-na-na." Or no, that's not how it went. It went like this. "Today is your birthday, da-na-na-na-na-na. It's my birthday too, yeah." So anyway, anytime I think about my birthday, I think about that song and it cracks me up. But I'm gonna be 47 tomorrow. By the time you see this video, I will be 47 officially. And I feel all kinds of ways about that because it's officially very close to 50. Something about the half-century mark makes it really clear that you are no longer in the youthful years, although I plan to maintain a youthful attitude for as long as I can. But it's a very sobering thing. As I mentioned in a previous video, I'm really glad to have the privilege of being able to age. So not complaining about that by any means, but there's something just really humbling and sobering about the aging process. And knowing that I am pushing up to 50 and hopefully will live many years beyond that. But it's likely that I'm way past the half point of my life. That just sits with you. You know what I mean? So just to keep the look similar, I'm gonna go in with this comp card right in here. And then I'm gonna go in with that darker blue on the edge. Something tells me to also add in this purple. So, hang on, folks. Let's go here. So how many of you are on Instagram? I am on Instagram with 2 accounts. One is Veronica Says All, which is related to my fragrance content. I initially wanted that to be fragrance and makeup, and I still do post some makeup looks and so forth over there. I started a second channel called Everyday Veronica that has, I think, 1 follower. I don't know a lot about Instagram, but I really do enjoy it. So I'm thinking about growing that other account, but honestly guys, I've been so lazy about posting on Instagram. I mean, it's all I can do to post a video here, so thinking about posting on Instagram is a lot to deal with. So, but anyway, what I wanted to get at is the ad situation on Instagram is something else. So the minute that you express interest in a specific kind of product, your feed is just inundated with that. Same thing like on Facebook, right? So I don't know how, when, or where, but I decided to look at I think it was like a purse or something. And all of a sudden, my feed had all of these purses in them. So now what happened as a result? Because I'm susceptible to marketing too. I am up at night looking at purses Do I need a purse? No. I've got purses for every occasion. I've got clutches for formal occasions. I've got crossbody bags. I've got hobo bags. I've got saddle bags. I've got everything. But I found these little crossbody-ish bags that caught my attention. And I ordered two. I ordered two late at night. I ordered a red one and I ordered a white one or a cream one with these interesting straps. Have you seen this style? I've not seen them out, but then again, I'm not out enough among like other humans doing human things to really be noticing trends and patterns. I mean, we go to the mall every so often, but I don't ever pay attention to like what people are wearing or what they're doing. I'm just there to do what I need to do and get back home. I'm gonna add some purple to this look. Are you cool with that? So we're going into the color called Drama, and this is gonna be some drama, get ready. In fact, this is looking a little Halloween-y. Oh, I kind of like that. Not too bad. That's fun. One of the things I'll do later today is probably shop some more under the name of getting myself some birthday presents. Mind you, I'm going to get stuff tomorrow from my husband and kids and the rest of my family. Oh my gosh. Look, in person, this looks horrid. We're going to see if we can salvage this look. I went way too far. Let's smudge. I'm gonna take a clean brush and smudge underneath my eye to soften up this crazy look. So I'm gonna take this pencil brush that's clean and just see if I can soften up the edges of this craziness I just created. I don't know if I want to go into that other Scott Barnes palette now. It might be too much, or maybe it'll be just right. Let's try it. I think I want to try this on the eyelid in the middle. Oh my God. Holy cow, look at that. My family's gonna be like, Mom, you okay? So these are really crumbly, beautiful, but crumbly. Almost like topper shades. They're gonna give Pat McGrath's Astral Shades a run for their money. What do you think? And I'm gonna take this black. Actually, let's do the sparkly black since we're being all extra with the glitter. And let's create an eyeliner look. Requesting additional prayers. Ooh, there's a lot of fallout from that glittery shade. It's looking crazy. You can't see it on camera. But in person, that last shade I put on, because I probably have one, too much on. Two, it's on top of 10,000 other shadows. I went a little bit crazy. I didn't mean to do that wingy thing. I hate wings. I don't know how to do them. I suck at wings. I meant to just pull it out just a little bit, but like almost in a straight line. And now I have made a mess and have to make more mess to account for that. Oh God, what did I do? I'm going back to my blending brush. Let me turn the lighting down a bit. So that's no light on my mirror. You can see all the imperfections in the skin. Keep that in mind, by the way, when you're watching makeup reviewers or people apply makeup. They're under a lot of lights and the lights wash out a lot of imperfection. It's interesting because people will be like, oh my gosh, your skin is beautiful, you know, to whoever the reviewer is, but they can't see close up. Not to take anything away from anyone that may have beautiful skin, but my point is you can't always really see because look, that's the brightest light and it just washed out all of that stuff on my skin. Well, most of it, you can still see a little texture. So I think I'm gonna pause the eyeshadow look there because where else is there to go from here? This is maybe one of my most horrid looks ever. But let's do eyebrows and cheeks and lips and see if we can salvage the look. So I used the Pat McGrath Darkstar mascara, which is like my holy grail mascara, on my eyes. This particular tube is getting a little dry. I have overworked this tube for too long and probably need another one. This is the kind of look that would benefit from false lashes, but I'm not doing false lashes today because it's a big hassle and I just don't feel like it. So I hope that this is cool with you guys and let me do eyebrows. For the eyebrow, I used the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in Brunette. This was one that I learned about through Paola Bianca, who has a fragrance channel. I'll link her below. I have eyebrow envy every time I watch her channel. She has the biggest, most beautiful, natural looking brows. For cheeks, I use the Rare Beauty. These are little minis, but they're Rare Beauty. This is like a, what do you call this? A cream or liquid blush, I guess is what you call it. And I may have put a little too much on. It looks fine in that mirror, but in the camera, it looks like I'm flushed, like I have a fever. This is in the color Hope. I have Hope and I have Bliss. Bliss is a little bit more peachy. These liquid blushes are the best. You only need a dot or two, and then you tap it out with a brush or with a sponge, and you get a complete look for the day. And then for the lip, I used as a lip liner, this is from Colourpop. This is their Lippie pencils. I have 3 that are just, gosh, I use them. I use and abuse these. This is in the color BFF, and it's this like pinky nudish color. And for the lip, I used Christie, which is a matte pinky, like a pink rosy color that I just, well, maybe it's not matte. It's got a little bit of sheen. I take that back, but it's a beautiful, comfortable formula that doesn't have too much shine to compete with the eye. So there is the look. What do we think? I think I went a little Halloweenish today, but that's all right. I'm hanging out in the house. And what I love is that I got to test out the formula in that Glamazon palette, which I love so far. We'll see how it lasts. And the topper shades or shimmer shades, I guess you can wear them alone, that are in the other palette are, if this is any indication of what they're like, phenomenal. So I'm really happy with that. I think I'm gonna make that stew. I'm gonna go, do you wanna see the stew? I'll show you what that looks like. And then maybe I'll build a fire in the fireplace. I'll show you that too. And I'll bid you adieu for the evening, and I'll get ready to have a nice night before my birthday tomorrow. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You guys are the best.